Hello again. Today I just want to bring up a small tip that I often use. It might not necessarily make you faster, but I find it quite useful. And this little tip that I'm talking about would quite simply be to just place your pedal inputs around the center of your screen. And why exactly is this useful? Well, I find this little thing to be quite useful, particularly when you're getting used to a car and understanding the brakes. And particularly on iRacing, you can't necessarily just slam the brakes all the way to 100% or you're going to lock up or you're going to hit the ABS. Every car is different on iRacing, and they all have a slightly different threshold of where you start locking up or hitting the ABS. And I think when you're getting used to a car, it's quite useful when you're coming into a hard braking zone. You can have a little peek down at your braking inputs to see exactly where that threshold is, so you can have a bit more of a mental idea of where to balance the brakes with that car. For people with softer brake pedals or non-load cell brake pedals, it can be quite difficult to accurately repeat the same braking force each time when you're coming into a braking zone. So being able to double check where your braking inputs are while you're braking can be quite useful for those people. And also with non-load cell pedals, it can also be quite difficult to trail brake accurately. So more so when you're learning the car, while you're trail braking into a turn, you can have a little peek down at that brake input bar just to see whereabouts you're balancing that brake input, and you can adjust if needed to further improve your trail braking. And then again, you can still use this information to improve your braking skills with a load cell set of pedals. When you're learning a car and you're trail braking into a turn, you can have a look down at the braking input, and if you think it's a little too high, you could try a little bit less next time. Does that make you faster? Well, then take this around each other corner and improve your overall lap. And having this information closer towards the middle of your screen means you don't have to take your eyes too far off of where you're actually going. Whereas if you just leave the inputs in the corners, you have to look right away from the direction that you're driving, and that could lead you into crashes. And like I said, you'll mostly be, if you are looking at this, it'll probably be when you're learning a car. But it can also be useful to check if your pedals are behaving, because sometimes when you're using potentiometer pedals, they can pick up a bit of dust and they start flickering around and sticking. You can notice the stuff while you're driving rather than having to look to the corner. It becomes quite evident because you can see it out the corner of your eye. Or just maybe you have a heavy braking foot and you end up slightly dragging on the brakes while you're going down the straight. You'll be able to pick up on this pretty easily if it's just towards the middle of your screen. It's not a big thing, but it is quite a useful tip, and I find it pretty useful when I am learning a new car. On iRacing, you do have the pedal inputs on your screen by default somewhere. You can just press Alt-K, and that allows you to move it around, and then you can position wherever you feel is most necessary. You can also do this on Assetto Corsa. I don't think you can do this on ACC or some of the other sims. Those ones have a kind of more permanent pedal input position, but you can also get some external apps which also show your braking pedal inputs. And one of those external apps is RaceLab apps, which can be used with iRacing. I do sometimes, but I believe that works with other sims too. If you've tried that out, could you please let us know in the comments? But to me, I think this is most useful on iRacing because of how accurate you have to be on your initial braking input. You can't just go up to 100%. And just before I finish off, if you're looking to buy some new sim racing equipment like a new direct drive wheelbase or pedals, then I'd highly recommend Camus. That's what I've been driving with for the last few months now. Both the wheelbase and the pedals, they give me a lot of comfort when I'm driving, and I enjoy them a lot. If you'd like to receive a 5% discount on any Camus Sim Racing products, then be sure to enter the code DOVE, D-O-V-E, at the checkout, and you will receive that discount. Anyways, I hope this might be a little helpful to some of you out there. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you around soon.